Welcome to As We Get Older. I'm Laura Ornduff, and in this video, I'm going to talk about some things you need to be aware of when you're cleaning out either your stuff, you're helping someone clean out their stuff, or if you are cleaning out an estate. Now, in my situation, my parents were both teachers. They grew up in small towns. They were born just after the Depression. They had a mentality of let's keep pretty much everything because we might need to use that again. This is also pre-Google. Dad kept a lot of books because I might need to look up that information. Now he just kind of go either Google or call it one of the computer names and just say what's the information. But when they passed, they had a lot of stuff. So probably 2 to 3 days after Mom's funeral, she died in 2015. I was pulling out some boxes, starting to flip through things, and I found her 2007 EOBs, explanation of benefits for insurance purposes, and big pile of stuff. And I was getting ready to kind of throw it in the pile to take to the shredder, but I just happened to glance one more time, and in it was my birth certificate. Not a copy, the original birth certificate, not in a firebox, not at the bank vault, but in a box in the back room of the house. So that screamed loudly. In my situation, I was going to have to go through everything, every piece of paper, every magazine, every book, kind of looking for, were there things kind of stuffed places. Dad had I'm going to say it's a bad habit, but it was his habit that when he was reading a book or a magazine, he would take whatever piece of mail was handy. And I found a lot of times it was a pay stub with his Social Security number on it. Again, Social Security numbers were everywhere. And, sometimes he used like a dollar bill for books. And so I had to go through everything. I did find a few gems. In my situation, I was very fortunate. Mom would occasionally write a little poetry, which I did not know she did. And I found these just little, one or two lines. It was just really, really sweet. It was a nice way to remember my mom. But there was just so much I was going through. The Social Security number, those private information. Also, when you was going through clothing, how many coins and how many dollar bills and stuff. She would just kind of like put a dollar in case I needed it when I went somewhere. Purses. May I offer, if you do not carry a purse, let the people who carry a purse go through the purses. And I'm not talking about, weird, uncomfortable things. I'm talking about purses have a lot of hidden pockets. And so if you carry a purse, I carry a purse, I'm going to go through every single little pocket because I know to look for, oh, look, here's a $20 bill. Oh, look, here's, that kind of stuff that you want to make sure that you go through and you go through all this stuff. Another thing that I found a lot in the boxes were those just coins. There's coin holders, those rubber coin holders from the 70s. And, don't just kind of go, 25 cents here and there. I kept a big jar and, 25 cents here, $1.72 here, $2.95, it adds up. And so, don't kind of scoff at the coins. That'll add up. But again, going through every single item, magazines, books, clothing, don't just assume, those sheets that are folded up, that you just take those sheets, flip them open. Is there anything hidden in those sheets? This is kind of the more obvious stuff. And, you're probably thinking, okay, that's great, I can do that. But what about those hidden places? If you go to Google and just type, where can I hide things in my house? And just click on the image button. There are so many things. And I'm going to talk about some of those in my blog. I'm not going to do it here because I'm just going to list a lot of clever places that you need to think of. Is there a fake outlet? Are there hidden drawers? When you open, a desk, is there a false bottom? So many clever things. The house I lived in, a couple decades ago, that when we moved into the house, the lady who had built the house showed us in the downstairs bathroom, there was, this shelf that you honestly would have thought was part of the piping with the bathroom, but you lifted this little teeny hook. You had to actually put a hook to get into it, and there was a shelf. where you could put like, silver or, any valuables in there. That was really cool. But if something had happened to her and she had had some valuables in there and nobody knew about it, what would have happened? Because you might have seen those where people buy a house, it's 150 years old or 100 years old, and they're going through and they're remodeling the attic and they find a little hidden, treasure trove of where, a child has some hidden toys from the 1920s or something. Those are really neat finds. But if you have something of value, if you have, jewelry or some coins or something like that, and you don't list it somewhere and give that information to someone or put it in a safe deposit box so someone knows to look at these places, no one will know it. The things you value will not go to the people you love. Recently, I was talking to a lady, and she was mentioning that in her situation, her father, one of his final things that he said to her was that he had left her something of value. He didn't want to tell her what it was. I think he wanted her to be surprised. But when she went through his stuff, nothing popped up as being of value. Maybe he valued something that she saw and she just didn't see his value in it. But to this day, she wonders, did I miss it? I looked, I couldn't find it. And she was on a time schedule because it was an apartment, so she had to get out. Was it hidden somewhere? Like a false drawer, a false, something in a false panel. She'll never know. And so that's where I ask of you, if you have, again, there's some really clever hiding places. Talk to your lawyer, talk to your financial person, talk to someone and just say, okay, I've got these places. How can I leave this information so at my passing, someone will know to go and look for my grandmother's pearls or some coins that I collected or just something of value that you have. But again, look at my blog. I'm going to list a lot of really cool things, and maybe you may start using some of those ideas because they really are some great ideas. But just like the books behind me, are there false books? What I saw was put information behind a picture, a treasured picture. Some really cool ideas. So be aware, if this is your stuff and you've done those items, take care and please document it, somehow communicate it. Either, if you don't want to do it while you're alive, have a process where it will be communicated to someone after your passing, or, let somebody you trust let them know about it, because you don't want those valuable things lost and you want to help your loved ones. So hopefully I've given you a few things to think about. Please, again, check out my blog again for more information about this topic. And if you like what you see, click the submit button, and I'll see you in the next video.